A couple of weeks ago, we had to take the backhoe off because I had a couple of acres I had to go mow. And now we have a couple of apple trees I want to go dig holes for to plant them. And I have a couple of really big rocks I need to move and dig out of the dirt. I normally don't leave the backhoe just sitting here in the grass like this, but I didn't have a place to put it at the time, so I just covered it up with a garbage bag to keep all the controls clean and dry and the rain off of them. So I'm going to talk about how we hook this back up to the RK24 tractor. The first step is to pull the pins off the 3-point hitch on the back side of the tractor. You can see him pulling the cotter pin out, take the washer off, push the pin out, and just let the arm go down to the ground. Pick up the vertical bar that hooks it to the lifting bar. Select all your hardware, and then you can take off the vertical bar right there. Go set it down somewhere where you ain't going to lose the hardware, of course. And we'll get this one on the other side here. Take the vertical bar off. You can see it right there. Take the top one off. A little hard to do one-handed here, but there you go. Just pop it out. Grab your little T-bar bracket. This just holds the lower lifting arms in place. They don't really have to support anything, but just the weight of the two bars. Just drop the pin into place. Got to get it lined up, of course. And there it goes. And then put the linch pin in place underneath. Hopefully you can see that. We're just going to put the lower bars on the bracket just to hold them out of the way. Again, doing it one-handed, so you can see it fell down, but no big deal. I'll just hold it with my leg here. Just get the pin in place, put the cotter key in place. It doesn't have to support any weight. It's just to keep it up out of the dirt when it's nestled underneath the backhoe. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Put the pin in, put the washer, put the cotter key. It just holds it up out of the way so it's not laying in the dirt. Then you need to raise up the lifting arms. This is the upper part that raises the 3-point hitch. Just raise it up, you can see, get it up out of the way. Come back over here to the backhoe, make sure your hoses are there so you aren't going to run over them or get them pinched in between the fittings. You have to take the pins that are right here, these big pins. That's what holds the weight of the backhoe up. There's one on each side. They have to go into this. That fits into the slot. The pin will slide through there. So after you back the tractor up to the backhoe, make sure you have it centered. And you'll see the 3-point hitch will go right underneath the backhoe. You have to turn the tractor off because you can't have any pressure in the hydraulic system. And be careful, it's hot. But you disconnect that, and so that's where the hydraulic power for the backhoe will come from. Then you connect the two hoses coming from the tractor to the two hoses on the backhoe. You can't really mess it up because they only go together one way. You got a male-female type setup on the hoses. And you do tend to get some hydraulic fluid on them that'll either leak out, or I was going to show you with the two crescent wrenches here, sometimes if the backhoe settles, it'll build up pressure in the hoses, and you have to relieve the pressure a little bit. You can use, two wrenches, hold one as a backup, you loosen the fitting just a little bit, let a couple of drops of hydraulic fluid out, and then it'll plug together easy if you're having a hard time plugging it together. But I'm just trying to show with the two wrenches here. And you can see the other side, and you can see it comes apart really easy. Of course, it's harder to put back together one-handed though. And there it is back together. And don't forget to put the two dust covers back together so you keep any stuff out of your hydraulic system. Now you can go ahead and get the big pins that's going to support the backhoe. Take the linch pin out, slide the pin out. Go ahead and get the one off the other side. Like I always say, be sure you don't lose the hardware. So of course, go ahead and start up the tractor because you're going to need the hydraulic system to power the backhoe. Then you're going to use the backhoe to raise itself up to fit it on the bracket on the back of the tractor. You raise it back up out of the grass or whatever it's sitting in. Now you can see you can back up to it and hook it back up. Of course, the trick is getting the pins to line up so they'll slide through here, because they have to fit exactly. That big old pin has to go through the backhoe and through the area on the tractor. So now I'm going to go back the tractor up and get under the hooks to let it fit on back onto the tractor. So here you can see the right-handed hook, how it's up under the pin now. We'll go around to the other side, and you can see the hook on that side is ready to sit down on the pin on that side. So once you have the pins positioned under the hooks, you use the controls of the backhoe to raise it or lower it to get it to set exactly in place. And you can see now the pin will slide right in once you get it centered. And of course, put the linch pin to keep the bigger pin from falling out. And here's a shot just showing the pin in place. And you do the same thing on the other side. Sorry, my camera automatically rotated. I didn't mean for that to happen. But here's how it looks once you get the pin in place. Then you slide the linch pin over the outer bit. It will slide out. So now your backhoe should be held up by the 4 big pins, the 2 on the top right here and the 2 hooks on the bottom. Once it's all hooked up, you can turn the tractor off, and then you can put your 3-point hitch hardware back on the holding brackets here, just so you don't lose it, and then put the linch pins to keep it from falling off. Obviously, one goes on one side, one goes on the other side. The top bar actually has a little holder built into the backhoe. You can just rest it there. And on the RK24, the vertical bar with the threads on it always goes on the right-hand side. So just put it in the bracket, slide it over the pin, and put the linch pin into place. Now that you got everything hooked up again, you can take the weight off of the backhoe, and then it'll be supported by the tractor. So you can pull up the two outriggers. You can see right here, raising up one, then the other. Then you can raise the boom of the backhoe itself. And then we were ready to go. We're going to go plant some apple trees. For a safety recommendation, don't stand next to the boom when you're adjusting the backhoe position. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps you if you ever have to reinstall the backhoe for the RK24 tractor. Thanks.